So, Bethesda at E3 2019. I thought the presentation was alright. I had somewhat low expectations going into it, and I would say they were exceeded for the most part. It was much better than their 2017 show, but I don't think it was as good as 2018 Bethesda show based off of just reveals and overall content. And I'm going to go into exactly what they talked about here, but the problem I saw with Bethesda show is a lot of their stuff is already released games, or updates already released games, or just showing off some games that were already revealed before. There weren't really many new reveals, but there were some highlights in there. There was some cool, good stuff in there, which I quite liked. So at the very beginning, they had a little presentation talking about Bethesda's commitment to us, about the impact Bethesda has on people and their goals of trying to reach out to all sorts of people, that type of stuff. We are all Bethesda. We are Bethesda. They are us. We are you. They are Bethesda. It creeped me out a little bit, but you know what? That's fine. They quickly went into the presentation with Pete Hines giving a quick statement of community recognition. He said that there was going to be lots of games being shown here, community messages going on here. There's going to be some new reveals and a deep look into Doom Eternal, which that's at the very end of the presentation, which we'll get to. And then the god himself, Todd Howard, appeared. And that's when he got into roasting himself. You know, I like Todd Howard as a person. Like, I think he's a pretty good personality. He can self-deprecate himself and still have a lot of fun. And speaking of self-deprecation, they brought up Fallout 76, and that was the first thing that they spent this show talking about. So once again, like I said, a lot of the stuff that they mentioned at this presentation is already released games, just updating it, trying to improve them, trying to get more people to go back to them who purchased it originally. And I don't see too much reason for new players to hop into a lot of these old games, but at the very least they're trying to give new content to old players of these games. So of course they talked about how Fallout 76 got warranted criticism at launch, which I give some respect for mentioning the criticisms and the problems that were there with the game when it was first released. They mentioned the rocky start and the difficult first year they've had, and their commitment to making it a much better game now. So they thanked the players, of course, for sticking with it, and they talked about the next really big update going on there, which is Wastelanders. And that's the name of the new update. So Wastelanders is supposedly the Year 2 update, which is the second part of the main story of the game. The first part of the story was coming out of the vault, getting acquainted with the land, that type of stuff. The second part of the story adds a lot of what people wanted when the game was first made, where people come back to reclaim the land that was devastated originally, and it brings things like NPCs that you can interact with full dialogue trees, and people are rebuilding their civilizations, fighting back. There are new monsters, factions, there's a new main quest, there's choices and consequences, new weapons and gear, and it's coming in fall 2019 for free. And there's a free trial for everyone to play and try it out on June 10th to 17th. I think this was a really nice little presentation for Fallout 76, even though it's a game that many people like to hate on, that type of thing. I thought they did their best here to try and make the game look good, to update it, to work hard on it and turn it into something people expect it to be in the first place, but at the very least they're continually planning on updating it. And they say over the next several years they're going to keep updating it, adding to the story, adding more features. It might be a good idea to try it out during that free week. You know, June 10th to 17th, if it's free, why not try it out, you know, that type of thing. Seems pretty cool. I skipped over one thing though, because they didn't talk about Fallout 76 right away. They actually added a little something for Blades, which is their mobile game that they released, related to Elder Scrolls. It's sort of like slash with your finger, that type of thing. You fight enemies. I'm not sure exactly what it's about because I've never played it, but apparently it's their second straight #1 mobile game after Fallout Shelter, at least for a little while. And Blades is getting a new update, adding lots of stuff, a brand new dragon questline, jewelry crafting, etc., etc. And of course all of it's going to be free, and it's coming out tonight. So if you have Blades, you can download the update, play that type of stuff. And just, it's a nice little update to the mobile app. The big info here though was that Blades is coming to Nintendo Switch in fall 2019. Still completely free, just like it is on the mobile. So just because it's on Switch doesn't mean it gets Nintendo tax and you have to pay for it. It's still free. You can access all the content, including the new update, And it will have cross-play and cross-progression with the mobile version. So you could pick up your phone, play a little bit, and then pick up your Switch and continue right where you left off. I'm wondering how close to live that will work. Like, what would happen if you had your Switch on it and your phone on it at the same time? How would that work? Either way, though, it's supposed to carry progress over. And they're also giving some special rewards to people who went to E3 for the game, but that doesn't really apply to us now, does it, if we're watching this? After that, they briefly mentioned Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, but super briefly. They just said that they're next gen, they're working on it, and they don't have anything else to reveal at the time, which I'd rather them just say that and not reveal anything than try to reveal something when they have nothing to show, so I think that's fine. I do wish they had some new stuff to show, but it's for the new hardware, I'm sure, so they'll reveal more about it next year, I'd assume. Speaking of new stuff, I should say, there is a new reveal after that, the first new reveal of the show. There weren't too many new reveals, I'll admit. A lot of it was updates to old stuff, but this one seemed to be pretty cool. It's a new game from Tango, which is called Ghostwire Tokyo. And for those who don't know Tango Interactive, they're actually the devs of generally some horror-based games such as The Evil Within. But this game that they're developing, which is Ghostwire Tokyo, as I said, is a little bit different. It's an action-adventure game where you fight paranormal enemies, and you explore the world, you face different challenges, and you try to uncover the truth behind the world. There's also the characters and spirits, some dangerous, some helpful, some beautiful, each with their own stories to figure out. The trailer that they showed, unfortunately, was cinematic. It didn't really have gameplay in it, but it seems to have a pretty cool direction that they're going with here, and I like it when devs try new things rather than just stick to the same formula that they're used to. So hopefully this game turns out good. I think it's looking pretty cool so far. We'll just have to see once it releases how good it is. And that was it for Ghostwire Tokyo. They did a little showcase next. Like, as they said, they'd show some of the community people, see how the audience, like how Bethesda fans have been enjoying their games. So they did a little show reel of how Bethesda games have impacted certain people's lives. Bethesda patting their own backs, being like, our game's so good. Everyone loves our games. It changes lives, Yeah, that sort of thing. It was a little bit weird and unnecessary, but it was there. It was there. Yeah, I would say this conference had a little bit of unnecessary talking and that type of stuff. But yeah, there were some interesting games in there. And speaking of more games, they talked about another update to an already released game, which is Elder Scrolls Online. If people recall, there was recently the update for Elsewhere, which it's the land of the Khajiit, or basically the cat people. But they had a trailer, which I believe was for the new update that they're working on, which combined sort of Elsewhere stuff. Like, the main character of the trailer was one of the Khajiit. However, it was also showing off some of the new updates that they're adding. It was a cinematic trailer, that's for sure. It was a really cool-looking cinematic trailer, but definitely cinematic. And it's talking about the new fourth quarter story DLC, which is Dragonhold. So basically, this Khajiit character, I don't know their name, was fighting off a dragon with the help of several other characters, which will apparently be new, or at least one of them is new, which is, I believe, Sai Sahan, leader of the Dragon Guard, and the Dragon Guard are going to be in this new update. And basically, this is completing the Season of the Dragon, which is the set of updates they've been doing recently. But before Dragonhold releases the fourth quarter story DLC, there will be a new dungeon DLC called Scalebreaker, which they didn't talk too much about. But if you play Elder Scrolls Online, I'm sure you understand what it means by dungeon DLC. They're probably going to be adding dungeons, of course, and you can explore all that stuff. Just more content to their MMO, which is what people expect and hope for every E3 anyway, so that's perfectly fine. Then they had a little bit of a strange game that they unveiled. It's a ZeniMax Media game, which I'm not sure what ZeniMax Media has done before. But yeah, ZeniMax Media is making a game, but it's not what you'd expect. It's not like a full-fledged game. It's a mobile game. And exactly the type of mobile game you'd think of when you think of mobile game. It's a very simple, cartoony sort of game, but it has this sort of fun Nickelodeon Saturday morning cartoon style to it. It even had one of those openings that you'd expect to see in that type of cartoon. It's the game Commander Keen, which if you're a really old gamer or you know some retro games, Commander Keen was apparently a classic PC game. And this is a sort of reimagining of it in a mobile format. So of course there'll be the things you expect from a mobile game, probably in-game currencies, though I'm kind of speculating a little bit here. I'm not sure about all the specific stuff. Basically, it follows Billy and Billy, which one Billy is B-I-L-L-Y and one is B-I-L-L-I-E. That's the sister. So they're two siblings, they're both geniuses, and they're protecting the Earth using weird gadgets that they build from household items. So they can use gadgets to summon allies and attack enemies and navigate the map and stuff. There's a story mode with classic tales and new ones. There's aliens and power-ups, and you can explore different areas. And there's even a battle mode where you can go head-to-head, where you try to race to the end, collect checkpoints, and claim a flag. It seems like quite a good bit of content for a mobile game, so... And it'll be free, so people might as well try it if they want to. But that's basically it for that one. And they said there are other ZeniMax games currently being worked on, but they didn't reveal anything else there, so... Just a little mobile game, you know? They briefly mentioned that Fallout Shelter has 150 plus million users, and then they mentioned Elder Scrolls Legends, their other mobile game, with a new trailer, which basically is one of those ads that you'd think you'd see at the front of a YouTube video. One of those classic mobile game ads where you have the guy in the real world playing the mobile game, suddenly they're in the mobile game world, and oh my god, it's so immersive! I can't believe I'm in this world for real! Yeah. It was even the length of a YouTube ad. That's just what I kept thinking when I saw that, but regardless, there's a new expansion for Elder Scrolls Legends, which is Moons of Elsewhere, which is available on June 27th on PC, Mac phones, and tablets. And they briefly went over that, and then went on to Rage 2, with some new updates to the game. So Rage 2 updates were fairly simple, what you'd expect, but apparently they're planning to keep on updating Rage 2 consistently over the coming weeks. I'm not sure how long they'll keep doing it, but they said weekly updates, so. This week they're adding more cheat codes, a pilotable mech, some new vehicles, to briefly summarize this is Rise of the Ghost. It's called Rise of the Ghost expansion. That's what it is. And they're adding new enemies, new palatable mechs, new cheats, new vehicles, new gameplay modes, new enemy faction, places to explore, things to do. Just more content for people who already own Rage 2. I don't see anything here, though, that's anything that would make someone buy the game who wasn't already interested. But that's not the goal of it. It's just to add a little bit more content for people who already own it and play it, which is fair enough. I saw a little bit of a lackluster reaction to the game itself online, so hopefully with these consistent updates, they can keep people invested in coming back to the game. Next they went into the Wolfenstein games, which they had two, which is why I said games. One of them is the VR game they talked about already before, Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, where you take control of Nazi war machines and turn them against each other, or turn them against their creators. So you're a hacker in the VR camera, hacking into these machines, and then you can see from the machine's perspective and go that type of stuff, you know? And then they also mentioned the other game that they talked about last year, Wolfenstein Youngblood, where they talked about, this game, like, we know what it is. DJ Blazkowicz's two daughters are trying to track him down, and it can be played solo, or, this was cool, in co-op. You can have two people working together in co-op as the two sisters, playing through the story. I like this a lot, because I have only one brother, so we love two-player co-op games. I think it's a lot of fun. Plus, if you just have a friend to play it with, you can do that too, or you can play it on your own. I'm all down for these local co-op shooters, or anything local couch co-op games. I love that type of stuff. And it's releasing on July 26, 2019 on all platforms, including the Nintendo Switch. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I like this. Even though it was already announced, these extra details are nice. Next, they have an actual reveal, a new game, from Arcane Studios, which I like Arcane Studios. Andrew, my friend, likes Arcane Studios. And this game is called Deathloop. And you can get the gist of the game just from that name alone. Deathloop is a game revolving around a time loop that these two characters named Colt and Juliana are stuck in. And when I say rivals, I mean rivals. Like, they're straight up killing each other in gruesome ways. But they're stuck in this death loop where they keep on killing each other and keep on restarting. And they have very different personalities and philosophies on the situation. Colt believes that they need to break out of this time loop. They can't allow it to continue. They have to break free. And he's trying to stop it. And he's under the mindset that he has to kill Juliana to break out of it. And Juliana, on the other hand, believes that it's her purpose to be in this loop, that it must continue, that she belongs here, this is her home, and that she has to kill Colt to keep it going. I'm not quite sure where the story is going to go. That's all the gist that it gives us. So I'm not sure what the means is to break out the time loop, if we get to choose which way we go, like what's going on there. But it seems like a really cool concept, and I'm guessing they'll reveal more info about it next year. This was probably my favorite announcement of this presentation, though. This was a cool game. Like, I'm keeping my eye on Deathloop, that's for sure. I like it a lot. After that, there was another little fan video showcasing how Bethesda's changed everyone's lives. Todd Howard is a god among men. All people should praise Bethesda for their top quality games, like Fallout 76. And then id Software came up to talk about a new technology they've been working on called Orion. Not a game. This isn't a game. This is a technology, because if Microsoft and Google are getting into streaming, Bethesda might as well. Also, right? You gotta get on that money train, because that's where the future is, boys and girls, lads and laddies, monsieurs and monsierettes. Basically, Orion is supposedly a breakthrough in streaming technology that optimizes game engines for cloud performance, and it supposedly works with any game engine and improves the game experience no matter what you're on, be it Stadia or Xstream or any other streaming service. So instead of making their own streaming service, Bethesda is jumping on the other ones, getting on their backs and being like, try our thing. It'll improve you. It'll make you faster. Enhance performance, faster run times. You'll be faster, stronger, built to last longer, as they say. And it supposedly is different from other solutions because rather than using hardware, like things like Stadia use hardware to relay and give power to it and stuff like that, Orion works at the game engine level to stream game content up to 20% faster per frame. Faster than what? I don't know, but apparently it reduces latency. It has up to 40% lower bandwidth. Once again, lower than what? I don't know. But it's easy to integrate with RSDK. You probably don't know what these means, but they simplified it. They said streaming games will be faster, better, and it reduces the cost for players and publishers, according to them. It also doesn't matter if friends or family are using bandwidth or if you're far from the data center, it should work at high quality no matter what. And it can play Doom, they said, which was a good transition into their last game, Doom Eternal. Which Doom Eternal was already revealed, but this went into much more detail about it, talking about the story, which, like, people care about Doom that much, but the story here basically revolves around, we're going to heaven, we're going to hell, and we're going to the Sentinel homeworld, and we're killing some demons. That's all you need to know about the story, to be honest. I missed a little bit of this section because my internet kept on cutting in and out around here, but I got the gist of it. There's new gameplay modes in this. There's things like grappling hooks and air dashes, new environments to explore, gameplay, new gameplay, hazard protection stats, which my friend said was there, but I missed it because my internet cut out. There seems to be a speedrunning type thing. It'll be playable in the booth all week, so people at E3 can try it out and give more details on it. They showed off a lot of gameplay here in a trailer though, so it was full gameplay, like movement, combat, they're fighting enemies, like they showed different enemy types, there's a big boss guy that they fought. And they gave a release date of November 22nd, 2019. A lot of people are really excited about this thing, and it does look really good, and I'm sure it will be really good knowing id Software. There's also a collector's edition being made, which comes with your own Doomslayer helmet, so you can dress up as Doomslayer for Halloween without getting those crappy plastic costumes from Walmart that barely fit your 6-year-old child's head. They also have one more game mode for Doom, which is Battle Mode. Like, straight up, like, not battle space mode, it's just all caps, battle mode. Yeah, but that's their online game mode. So, basically, it's online, but it's not really what you think of in a online shooter game mode. In fact, it seems more based around playing with friends than anything else. So, basically, there's 3 players in this online mode in every round. 2 demons that are controlled by players, and 1 fully loaded Doomslayer. And the demons are supposed to work strategically and tactically, use their abilities to corner and take down the Doomslayer, whereas the powerful Doomslayer is just trying to shoot down the demons, of course. And it looks like if you have 3 people playing, like you and 2 friends, or you and some siblings and stuff like that, you can play just local. I don't know local, definitely online. I didn't catch if it was also local multiplayer, but it looks like a cool thing to play with some friends, or I assume you can play with strangers too if you want to do that type of thing. maybe you could be a Doomslayer and face off against 2 stranger demons, or work together with a stranger and try and slay a stranger Doomslayer, you know? It seems like a cool thing, and they're really innovating with the online game mode rather than just doing generic shooter stuff. So yeah, and finally they said that their QuakeCon this year will be Doom themed. In fact, they're going to add all sorts of panels and activities in a section called DoomCon, because it's the year of the Doom for Doom's, I think, 25th anniversary, something like that. And then they had another outro sort of thing where some more people were talking about Bethesda and how great they are and that type of stuff. And that was it for the presentation, and that was all. So here's the thing. I feel like there were some decent updates going on here, but that's the thing, they're updates. A lot of the stuff they talked about here were games that were already revealed last year, or the years before that, or already released last year, like Fallout 76, or some of these mobile games that we've already played or people have already accessed for a long time. Most of it was just adding more to stuff they've already released, which is fine, but people mostly go to these showcases. Like, people go to E3 to see the new stuff, you know, to get hyped about things. And I feel like a lot of these updates could just be released for like an app, and people could just read the changelog. It doesn't matter too much. Like, some stuff would probably be good to make a video about, such as the Fallout 76 updates. I mean, I know why they talk about that here. They really want people to know that they're working on it. But stuff like Blades and stuff like, well, they mentioned Fallout Shelter and also the, what was the other mobile game that they're working on? Elder Scrolls Legends and stuff like that. They could just do an update log for that. And also the free-to-play mobile game, like, they went into a little bit too much time into that. They talked about it too long. I think they could have just shown a trailer for that, and that would have been good enough. The stuff I liked the most was Ghostwire Tokyo. Well, basically all the new reveals. Ghostwire Tokyo, I really liked Deathloop. Doom Eternal looked really cool. And that was the stuff I liked the most. Yeah, I feel like Microsoft's show was quite a lot better, but I don't think the show was horrible. I think it was alright. This is definitely a show for Bethesda fans, for the most part, other than games like Deathloop, which anyone could enjoy. So, I'm going to give this show a C-. C-. I think the new reveals were cool. Doom Eternal Showcase was alright. Or, no, it was good. I'll give it that, it was good. But the updates and stuff weren't that exciting, and some of the stuff was straight up boring. And Bethesda likes to pat themselves on the back a little bit too much, so. Alright, so that's the end of Bethesda's press conference. I'm not sure if I'll do one on Devolver Digital. Actually, if I do one on Devolver Digital, it'll be super short, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, because there's not too much to talk about there. I might throw that in after this video, just a little bit after this one, or maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll just do it real quick tomorrow. Regardless, hopefully you guys are enjoying this E3 coverage, and I'll continue to look at the other press conferences tomorrow. Hopefully I don't burn myself out. I'm getting pretty tired. I need some sleep.